across the hall, if anybody wants to sit and watch on the screen, there's an overflow seat across the hall.
Welcome, everybody. We'll call the meeting of the Committee of the Whole to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Yamas?
Here.
Alderwoman Garza?
Here.
Alderman Masiacos?
Present.
Alderman Donnell?
Here.
Alderman Franco?
Here.
Alderman Spill?
Here.
Alderwoman Hartburn?
Here.
Alderwoman Smith?
Here.
Alderman Bug?
Here.
Alderwoman Bade?
Here.
Alderman Lash?
Here.
Alderman Warman?
Here.
Okay, thank you. And before we officially begin the meeting, I just wanted to say that unfortunately the Mayor Irvin could not be here this evening. He has a death in the family, and that's why I'm here this evening. Filling in as a Mayor Pro Tem. So is there a motion to approve the minutes of the May 16th, 2023 meeting? It's moved by Alderwoman Chiquita Hartburns, second by Alderwoman Garza. Any corrections, additions, or deletions? Clerk, please call the roll.
I believe we can do voice
Oh,
vote.
we can do a voice vote. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. In terms of the next item, public comment, Madam Clerk, is there any members of the public wishing to offer public
There are.
testimony and comment?
There are, yes. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, all persons shall be permitted an opportunity to address public officials under the rules established and recorded by the council. Under our rules, any person may address the committee of the whole for up to 3 minutes, with a maximum of 30 minutes allotted for all public comment. No person other than the timekeeper or the chair for the purpose of maintaining order may interrupt a person recognized for public comment during his or her comments. Members of the committee of the whole shall not engage with nor respond to a speaker during the time set aside for public comment. Staff is directed to follow up with members of the public with respect to any concerns raised during public comment within the scope of the city's authority following the adjournment of this meeting.
Okay. Madam Clerk, will you please read the name of the first person to offer public comments this evening?
Adam Pauley.
You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Happy June, everybody. I just wanted to come out and invite you personally to Aurora Pride this weekend. On Friday at 11 at 1 Aurora Plaza is going to be the flag raising, and Sunday, June 11th, at noon is going to be the Pride Parade. Pride is a celebration of freedom, so feel free to come out and celebrate with us. And it's really fitting to be talking about this today of all days because it's 79th anniversary of D-Day. So come on out this weekend. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me after the meeting. Thanks.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read the name of the next person?
Mercy Galicia.
Mercy, you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for letting me say a little piece of mine. I just wanted to thank the aldermen that have been able to support us. We are having our 20th annual fundraiser for scholarships for the Tejano organization, and I'd like to invite the rest of the aldermen to please help out and participate if you could. I do, in case you lost it, I do have the forms for sponsorship. I can pass it out in a little while. I just wanted, again, the time is getting close. It'll be June 24th. It will have 2 bands from Texas and a couple of DJs. So please come and support the cause. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to offer comment?
There are none.
Okay, we'll go to the reports then of the respective standing committees. The first report is the Building, Zoning, and Economic Development Committee. Will Chairwoman Patty Smith give the BZE committee report?
Sure will. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The Building, Zoning, and Economic Development Committee met on May 24th, 2023, and reviewed the following items. Item number 230307, a resolution approving the final plot for Associated Bank subdivision located at 301 West Galena Boulevard. and the second one goes along with it. 23-0309, an ordinance vacating a portion of the dedicated public right-of-way for an alley on the property located at 303 West Galena Boulevard in Kane County, Aurora, Illinois, 60504.
Consent on both.
The purpose for this is the petitioner is requesting to make plans to convert this old bank into a modern office space, which he did share with us would be utilized by DCFS when it is completed. Do we have need for a presentation? Last item is for information only, 230379, a resolution approving a final plan revision of Plot 108 of Plainfield Phase 2, Unit 1-C, for a business and professional office, 2,400 use, and a warehouse distribution and storage service, 3,300 use.
Okay, Alderman Lash, you had a question?
Yeah, and the last one. Just some questions or thoughts for the council. I saw a good discussion in the RAP committee meeting and recommendations to hire local contractors and so forth. As I look at the warehouses, and it looks like a lot of this property up at Bilter and Yola could be developed for warehousing. Whenever I hear warehouse, I hear truck traffic, more congestion, and poverty wage jobs. So one of the things that I want to see us do is bring better paying jobs. I have 4 proposals to make this better, and I'm interested in what the other council thinks. But first and foremost,
Point of order, this item is for information only, so I'm not sure it's open for discussion.
I still
Attorney?
think it can
Legal?
be appealed, so. yeah.
It's past appealable time.
I believe the appeal time has passed.
It's passed, yes. It's for information only, yes.
Correct.
so it's already been approved.
Yeah, it's past its appealable time. If you look down at the bottom, it says here for information only,
Okay.
and it's past its appealable time. And this item is on consent?
Quick
It's
question.
information only.
It's information only, right?
That's the end of the report for the BZNE and Economic Development.
All right, the first 2 items, 307 and 309 on consent then. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. The next is from the Finance Committee. Chairwoman Carl Franco, please give the committee report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. The Finance Committee met on May 25th, 2023, and reviewed the following items. 23-0048, a resolution authorizing a 5-year renewal of software products from Central Square Technologies, LLC, for a total award of $2,038,298.52.
Consent.
And because we went with a 5-year term, we saved $231,704. And we also has a clause in there that allows for termination with 90 days notice. And that was on consent.
And we'll go on consent.
Next one is 23-0176, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to enter into a 38-month agreement with 5 optional 1-year renewals for golf course management software from Golf Now LLC of Orlando,
Consent.
Florida, for a maximum exchange of 3 tee times per day. And this is a web-based tee time reservation system. It will improve the online tee time process with remote access and sales capabilities. And Golf Now had the highest score of the 6 stakeholders who submitted bids.
Consent.
This item will go on consent.
Next one is 23-0358, a resolution authorizing execution of a Phase 2 design engineering agreement with Crawford, Murphy, and Tilly Incorporated in a not-to-exceed amount of $412,745 and the appropriation of $430,000 of Rebuild Illinois bond funds for the Sullivan Road,
Consent.
Echelon Drive to Golden Oaks Parkway project.
Consent.
This item will go on consent.
Next one is 23-0380, a resolution approving the purchase of bulk rock salt in the amount of $78.31 per ton from Compass Minerals America Incorporated, Overland Park, Kansas, for the Division of Street Maintenance under the DuPage County Joint Purchasing Agreement bid for the 2023-2024 winter season. This is a bit more than we paid per ton last year. It also represents about 50% of the salt to be purchased, as we will also use the state's purchasing agreement to purchase the remainder to have multiple suppliers in case one can't meet the delivery schedule or needs.
Consent.
This item will go on consent.
Next one is 23-0418, an ordinance calling for a public hearing and a joint review board meeting to consider the designation of a redevelopment project area and the
Consent.
approval of a redevelopment plan
Question.
and project for the City of Aurora Cross Street Tax Increments Financing District. And this ordinance will start the process of creating the TIF.
Alderman Lesh.
Consent.
Quick question. The ordinance calls for a joint review board meeting to be held Friday, July 7th at 9 a.m. I would like to make a motion to change that to 5 p.m. The Open Meetings Act is pretty clear that a public meeting, which the JRB is subject to the Open Meetings Act, should be at a time when the public can attend.
Well, we'll let legal determine that. You have a motion, and the reason is it illegal to have it at 3, or is it a want to have it at 3? Or want to have it at 5, rather?
It needs to be at a time, according to the Open Meetings Act, when the public can attend, and at a normal time when the governing bodies meet. A joint review board has multiple taxing bodies that are meeting. Some are at 4 o'clock, 4:35. This body convenes at different times as well, but none of them convene at 9 a.m. So it has to be convenient to the public. Those are
The time that is scheduled is in compliance with the Open Meetings Act.
It's compliance with the
Yes.
All right, there was a, well, I'll let the Mayor Pro Tem do that, but it was a motion. I guess we could feed off the motion.
Is there a second?
There's
And
no
the motion
second.
dies for lack of a second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this item?
All right, was there a consent on that or not?
Consent.
Consent, this item will go on consent.
All right, and then the last one here is 23-0424, an ordinance amending ordinance number 23-017, calling for a public hearing and a joint review board meeting to consider designation of a redevelopment project area and approval of a redevelopment plan and project for the City of Aurora Vine Tax Increment Financing
Consent.
District to
Consent.
reschedule the public hearing date, and this ordinance is needed to reschedule the public hearing for this particular TIF.
Question.
Alderman Lesh.
Is there questions? I think largely for staff. And then I heard that some other aldermen weighed in at the initial discussion of this in the finance committee on February 26th. But on February 24th of this year, Trevor Dick opened the discussion on the Rivervine TIF, saying that because of increased developer interest as a result of many factors, including the opening of the pedestrian and bicycle bridge and other items. I was just curious, how many developers did we get interested in this property?
Since I was quoted. Good evening, Trevor Dick, Assistant Director in Economic Development. Alderman Leish, I've been here at the city for about 5 years. I would say that if I had to guess, there was at least 3 or 4 developers that expressed interest. Nothing formally was submitted at any time. We often get calls from a lot of development interest throughout the city. So if I had to guess, I'd say about 3 or 4 developers.
3 or 4 developers. And then who currently owns the property?
The city of Aurora?
The city of Aurora. And then were there any leases on the property at the time of the TIF study or currently? So leases, or I think we have an agreement with the casino. I'm not sure if we have one with River's Edge Park for overflow parking.
To my knowledge, no, we do not have any leases on that property. The parking area more to the south near Piney Street, that is a lease with the casino, yes. So that would be the southern 3 of the 9 acres.
Okay, and nothing with River's Edge Park for?
Not to my knowledge, no, sir.
Okay. Has the city in any way marketed this property by utilizing a realtor or through any other methods officially put out property on the market?
I do not believe that we've done any formal, I'm looking around for, oh, here we go. I'm going to ask Mr. Debo to help me on this one.
Yes, this property was marketed.
In what manner?
We've spoken to different developers that we know that have been active in the area. A developer such as Marquette that did properties in Naperville.
Okay. And then who does negotiate these things on our behalf? Or who is in this specific negotiation?
The Office of Economic Development in conjunction with the mayor's office.
Okay. I was listening because when I was listening, it sounded like you, Trevor, weren't in the meeting. So that's why I was asking that specific question. And then also in that meeting, they discussed the Opportunity Zone federal tax incentives, and there was a discussion between Alderman Franco, Alderwoman Bade, and Alderman Jenkins about using federal incentives instead of a local TIF. What is the Opportunity Zone application process, and how much has this specific developer pursued those federal incentives?
So again, it's two different things, right? The TIF is our a local mechanism regarding property taxes. The Opportunity Zone, which was passed about 4.5 years ago, is a federal program that enables developers to have certain tax incentives over a 10-year period of time. So that's an individual decision that they make, just depending on whether they could avail themselves. The opportunity is there to do that if they've got losses or other things that they could shelter using this Opportunity Zone mechanism. But it's something that we make sure they're aware of, because the Opportunity Zones were recommended by the states, and we made our own recommendation about 5 years ago when they came into being, but then the state decided where the opportunity lines would be drawn. One was drawn right around there. Unfortunately, a lot of that area where the Opportunity Zone involves residential to the west. This area luckily did have it, and the developer may avail themselves of that opportunity if they can. It's unclear what those benefits are, because they're very individual depending on the tax brackets and the opportunity that these individual developers could have. But we made sure that they were aware of it.
Okay. And then does it fall into a hub zone also?
I believe it does as well. I believe it does.
So there's other incentives that they could be pursuing?
Again, very specific depending on the employees that are hired and so on.
Right. Well, the hub zone is designed to hire largely low-income or disadvantaged people, if I'm correct, minority contractors.
Correct. So again, it's a federal program. That's another federal program.
And I think, I was mentioning the maps changing, is it July 1st? Yeah. And I think, Alderman, I know you're familiar with hub zones because we've corresponded, but I think, is it July 1st that the maps are changing again for the hub zone designations in the city, I think? We spoke to Invest Aurora, and that's the data they provided us with as well.
I didn't follow that, so
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll be tracking that, though.
But it'll be along census data lines, I'm assuming?
You know what, I'm not sure what generally it is. I'm not sure where they're going to end up on July 1st.
So do we know what other incentives other than TIF they're pursuing, and what other incentives we're providing?
We do not. Again, we spoke to them about the Opportunity Zone. We marketed it with the Opportunity Zone. But again, it's an individual decision. And we don't see it as a trade-off between a TIF and an Opportunity Zone. It's truly apples and oranges.
Okay. And then during that February finance meeting, I think, Trevor, you said it would be a 20-year TIF. And I heard Alderwoman Bade and Alderman Jenkins push back for a 15, but now it's a 23-year TIF, so I'm wondering what happened there.
20-year TIF. It's a 20-year TIF.
20.
Point of order.
Thank you.
If legal could just clarify, the agenda item is just to set the hearing date, correct?
Thank you.
Like we're getting into the substance of a TIF.
I believe he's just asking questions on it. Do you have any more questions, or is it?
I guess I have a few, but just to get them out of the way now instead of at the last minute when
Yeah,
things
you
have
could
to
ask all
change.
these privately. I mean, the agenda item itself is just for the hearing date. We have quite a few things on the agenda. I feel like we're going to be up here all day. All these can be done outside. I'm not saying that you don't have a right to ask these questions, but I'm asking to respect everyone's time that we move forward and keep this meeting moving along.
I just want to offer, if you'd like to speak about the details of the TIF, how it amortizes, we'd be happy to talk to you about it. It's an upfront TIF, how it does, so we'd be happy to do that.
I would like to talk about the amortization and the EAV calculation. You said it would be roughly 20 million at the end of it. Is that the same as it is at the beginning of the TIF, or you only calculate the end?
Wait, that's a need.
The
I mean, I could discuss it. This is the kind of thing I could discuss with you offline, however you want to do it. or how the council wants to
I
do it.
believe we have a point of order here that we need to stay on topic. The topic is about the public hearing and moving forward with a public hearing. We all have the opportunity, these people are available to us on an ongoing basis to get these types of questions answered. It's not that they can't be addressed in the public, but what we're addressing is what is in 230424, which is calling for a public hearing. And so we're kind of off topic here.
All right, I'm going to rule on the point of order that we proceed.
Was this on consent?
It is now.
Consent.
It's on consent.
Consent? Okay.
Well, that,
And Alderman
I'll be
Maskey
voting
takes
no.
this
I'm
up
sorry, no, I'll be voting no.
Unfinished
So, vote
then?
off consent. Thank you.
For 23-0424.
And I'll work with you guys to. Sure, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, thank
all
you.
right, that concludes the Finance Committee report.
Okay. The next report is from the Public Health, Safety, and Transportation Committee. Will Chairwoman Shakita Hart-Burns give the report?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Public Health and Safety Transportation did meet on May 22nd. And we have these items to consider. We have these items to consider. 230384 is a resolution establishing the maximum number of Class B on-site consumption liquor license unofficially related to the application from Taqueria Munez and Restaurant LLC, right there at 518 South Lake Street. Thank you. I know the owners are here. And then we have item number 230395 is a resolution to establish the maximum number of Class B on-site consumption liquor license unofficially related to the application for Paulie's and Pub Grill, and that's at 44 North Yola.
Consent.
And they're here to, where's Paulie? There you go, he's here with the baby. They can go on consent. We have item
Will
number,
go on consent.
thank you. Item number 230398 is a resolution establishing the maximum number of Class B on-site consumption liquor license unofficially related to the application from J&C to dispute at 4302 East New York Street.
Consent.
Go on consent.
Question. Will go on consent.
Okay.
Yes, Alderman Bug.
Thank you. The clerk is here, right?
The clerk
Right
is
here.
here.
Oh, over there. New room, new place to sit.
Something new.
So, of course, this is a sushi place. They're moving across the street. They haven't moved yet. Did they, in some way, state a new opening date in Pacifica Square, or what is their target date to open?
I believe that it's this month, I believe is their target date.
Okay.
And I don't believe anyone appeared today for them. Do you want me to confirm that with them if it's changed? I know they were building out over there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's good information to know, because I know they had some delays. So, of course, we want them to be able to move across the street quickly and be successful. So, yeah, I think it's beneficial for all the aldermen to know, when we're shooting open.
Okay,
Appreciate that. Thank you.
no problem.
Mr. Beard, that concludes Public Health, Safety, and Transportation.
Okay, thank you. The next report will be from the Infrastructure and Technology Committee. Will Alderman Monty Garza please give the INT report?
We met on May 22nd. The first item, 230391, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to execute contract with Duke Root Control, Inc., Elgin, Illinois, of the amount of $96,000 for sanitary sewer, smoke
Consent.
testing, and Ward 2, 3, and 4.
Consent.
Consent? This item will go on consent.
Okay, next item, 23-0394, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to execute contract with MBE Fence, Warrenville, Illinois, in the amount of $257,700 to install the new fencing
Consent.
at River Edge Park in Ward 1.
Consent? This item will go on consent.
They conclude the meeting, Mayor.
Thank you. The next report will be the Rules Administration Procedural Committee. Will Alderman Warman please give the RAP report?
Thank you. First item is 23-0356, a resolution approving the appointment of Denise Zartman to the
Consent.
City's Advisory Commission for Disabilities.
Consent? This item will go on consent.
Second item on here, 23-0387. This was an overview of upcoming proposed license-based ordinance amendments. So I believe this is more of information only.
Information only? Okay.
That concludes the Rules, Administration, and Procedures Committee meeting.
Okay, thank you, Alderman. The next item is new business.
230446, a resolution approving the
Consent.
appointment of Michael Nelson as Director of Community Events.
Consent.
Move by, well, it would just be consent then. Okay. All right, this item will go on consent. Okay. The next item is the mayor's report. Anything to report?
I don't believe there's a mayor's report. I believe it's the Alderman's Corner.
Oh, it says in my agenda. Mayor's report. So the next item would be Alderman's Corner. So we have an Alderman, Alderman 4th Ward, Bill Donnell, prepared to give his report.
Thank you, Mayor.
What's happening in the 4th Ward?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I appreciate that. It's been a little over a year since we made a report out for the 4th Ward. I know the council kind of knows what the 4th Ward looks like, but for those in the audience, the kind of key locations in the 4th Ward are West Aurora High School, Aurora University, the Old Copley Hospital, Bardwell School. 1/3 of the 4th Ward is on the east side. Most people don't know that. So we're big, we're spread out, a great ward. We have 6 neighborhood groups that represent the folks in the 4th Ward. Each person has an opportunity to go to a neighborhood group. Recently, after taking the lead from Alderman Hart Burns, we had the Crisis Intervention Unit. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
The Crisis Intervention Unit from the APD, I saw that program last spring, and now we've used that in 3 of our groups to try to get the word out, to try to help folks that maybe be in crisis. We do have some information that has been put out with resources for folks that might need help. Our Crisis Intervention Unit responds to or works on almost 1,000 cases a year, so it's a real thing. So we appreciate that. We're trying to get the word out. Major projects for the 4th Ward include the historic Lincoln School on Lake Street, which sat vacant for over 15 years. We're now developing 36 workforce housing apartments to be created in the school and a new building to the rear. These will be nice units that have on-site laundry, computer lab, and library. Todd School, which is in the 6th Ward, will also be renovated into 11 apartments and a VNA School District 129 facility. I always have to talk about the Copley project. Bloomhaven Copley redevelopment is nearing completion. Things that have happened recently, there's a new bakery, I'm not sure, at the Vet Deli, which is now located in Montgomery. I've been told is very good, is looking to locate in the 1888 building as a deli and a little restaurant there. That's very welcome. And we're now, Bardwell residents, senior residence is now open. We have seniors and folks with disabilities living in that facility. And we're very close to having the VNA healthcare. I think you guys saw that at our meeting before. VNA healthcare provide walk-in healthcare services, pharmacies, the like, at that location for that neighborhood, which I think is wonderful. The Galena Boulevard Sign Enhancement Project, we did get a grant for that. Many of those mast arms and light fixtures along Galena, made out of the self-weathering steel, Corten steel back in the day, haven't weathered so well, so we're looking to replace those, and engineering is working on that. We have a big project, in street project, Lincoln and Center Street will have a sewer separation project, so expect some traffic there. Also, 4th Ward has had numerous lead service replacements, which people ask me, why are you cutting up the street? Well, we're trying to make sure that everybody has good water, and many of these places were partial conversions. When things went through earlier, residents were given the option of whether they wanted a full new service or not. Many of them said no. Now with the state law, we're going forward with putting those in. The YMCA is probably one of my #1 questions that I receive. The YMCA is in very rough shape. We work hard to secure the property, make sure no one gets in there. There is a court order of demolition, and we are working with the owner towards that end. Economic development, manufacturing is back in the city of Aurora. Jake's Machine is expanding. They're looking to build a new building on 2nd Street. They're really doing well there. ATMI is also expanding. They have demoed the former Luigi's building to create additional product storage. The storage area enjoys M2 zoning, so we didn't really have a lot of say in this, but I have asked that we have a setback, 25-foot setback, some landscaping trees, and fencing on that property to keep it looking good, kind of like it does look on the north side. But ATMI is doing well. Foreign Exchange Brewery and Restaurant, they're working on the cross street. We talked a little bit earlier about the cross street TIF that would help that. Also, a new bank and restaurants are planned for River Street Plaza, so things are doing pretty well. West Aurora High School, School District 129 has selected Dr. Michael P. Smith as a new superintendent to replace Dr. Jeff Craig, who's did a great job with our school district since 2014. I don't know if we talked about this before, but I worked with APD, Engineering, and School District 129 to try to realign the exit and entry to the West Aurora High School. I think we all know that schools provide challenges, especially high schools that have 4,000 kids coming and going at the same time. I'd like to recognize Officer Kyle Hoffman, who took the lead in this, and we came up with some plans to try to separate where the folks are picking up their kids from where the buses are. I spent some ward funds to do some sidewalk improvements and curbing improvements to make that happen, and the neighbors tell me it's working much better, so we're happy about that. Also, at the urging of one of our residents, we installed the school speed zone in front of West High. It's 20 mile an hour when kids are present to try to help slow things down a little bit on Galena. I think we all know that speeding is one of our #1 complaints. So, after 22 years of service at Aurora University, Dr. Rebecca Sherrick is retiring. Under her leadership, that university campus has been transformed with many new buildings and a beautiful new entrance on Prairie. And Dr. Sherrick has done a wonderful job, and hopefully she enjoys her retirement. Dr. Susanna River Mills has been chosen as the new leader at AU, and they are working on the house on the corner of Evans Lawn and Prairie to be her new residence. A lot of people have asked me, what are we doing there? So that is part of the AU. We talked about last time the Betty Parker Tucker Dorm, an academic program for students with autism, has been very successful and is full last year and will be full again this year. They expect to really do well with this program, which focus on high-functioning autistic children and having a pathway to workplaces. There's a lot of companies that have said they want to hire folks with these talents, and so pretty happy about that as well. Community events, wards 4, 5, and 6 will do a shred event on June 24th. Because of construction at Jefferson Junior High, where we normally have it, we're going to be behind the Student Center former dryer clinic off of Downer. That'll be the 24th from 8 to noon. Each year, Fourth Ward funds have been used to support the City CIS Back to School programs for both 129 and 131. I continue to do that, use ward funds to help kids get what they need to get back to school. I think you all know that I serve as chairman for the annual Coats for Kids program, which provides coats to school kids. This is a program that Alderman Hart Burns and Alderman Garza started as a ward project. And in 2010, Archie Needham from the Kiwanis decided that, hey, let's make this citywide. So it's been a great program, and I am very proud to say that we have 100% participation and sponsorship from this council. So thank you so much, and I am working on that today. So October will be here before we know it. I also serve as chairman of the Aurora Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's a private nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting and marketing the area as a premier overnight destination. We partner very closely with the Fox Valley Park District for the Stewart Sports Complex, which is a real mecca for athletics. And again, we're trying to put heads in beds. We talked a little bit about long-term, what we'd like to do, what we'd like to see long-term in the city. And I don't think it's any surprise to any of you that I'm a proponent of tree planting. Today I was out, planted a number of trees, and I think, I know you all work hard in your ward too, but I think that's going to make a difference long-term in our local environment and making our community look great. And we all know the benefits of trees. So if there's anything I'm going to request is plant more trees. So that's my report. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Alderman Bill Donnell, on a great fourth ward report. Appreciate it.
Can I make a comment?
Alderman Franco.
Thank you for going low tech. You took a lot of pressure off me for the next meeting. Thank you.
Okay. We will not have a closed session this evening. Is there any other business to come before the committee of the whole? Been moved by Alderwoman Chiquita Hart-Burns, second by Alderman Franco.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We are adjourned at 5:39 PM. Thank you, everybody.